Hello, fellow viewers. Welcome back to Bog of All Trades. Portugal is a great place to live, and it's also a great place to study. It's very affordable and offers a superior quality. And it even has public courses in English, for those of you who don't want to learn the language. In this video, I will tell you exactly what you need to get into any Portuguese university as a foreigner. First of all, I'll tell you about the difference between public and private universities, then about different concursos or contests. Then I'll tell you how to access the DGES for the main contest, this National Access Contest. After that, I will explain what exams you need to apply. Then I will guide you through filling in the form to apply, and in the end, I'll tell you about how you sign up to your university. Let's get going. Bog of all trades. I do everything and more. Part 1. Public versus private universities. Private universities are probably the most easy to access. All you do is go onto their webpage, go to sign up, and fill in your personal information. Very easy. But they're also associated with a much higher cost. That means from about 6 to 10,000 euros in a month, generally. They are also recognized, at least some of them, for example, the Católica in Lisbon. But most people choose not to go to private universities because of the associated costs and because, in general, the opinion is that public is better. Part number 2. Different contests. The public university system in Portugal has a variety of concursos or contests, which allow you to apply to the university. The main contest is the Concurso Nacional de Acesso, the National Access Contest. Here, everyone who has completed school can easily apply. This means you need to have a certificate that you have completed school, and you have to have some exams completed acknowledging your completion of school and certain subjects. More on that later. Now, to access it, all you need to do is access the DGES website and fill in a form, which we'll be doing in this video. But on other contests, there's a contest for people who are older than 23 and plus. This contest is usually held by each public university separately and requires you to fill in some exams and does not necessarily require everything that is required for the Concurso Nacional de Acesso, meaning that if you didn't complete school or if you didn't have grades that are good enough, you could still access it when you're older. Additionally, for the Concurso Nacional de Acesso, if you reside in a certain area or have certain disabilities, you can have easier access to your preferred courses, and you would have to fill that in while filling the form. Private universities hold their own contests as mentioned in Part 1. Part 3. Now we need to access DGES and fill in our information for the Concurso Nacional de Acesso. The access is not very simple, even if you are a Portuguese citizen or resident. You cannot log in with chave móvel digital or cartão de cidadão, for example. You actually need to go to school and ask them for your password. For this, you first need to log into DGES and fill in the password request form. Now here, there are a lot of caveats. Obviously, anyone who has a Portuguese identification document, but maybe not Portuguese exams or Portuguese school, would simply go to their nearest school. I would advise against it. Go to your nearest university, especially as a foreigner, even if you have ID. The reason for this is that if you go to your nearest university, you can immediately get a password to actually fill into the form. I did the mistake of going into a school. They did give me a password to access the system, but then I could not fill in the form because I need to fill in a ficha English. And even as I requested this ficha, which was very complicated and required several trips to the nearest school, since I did not complete my studies there, turns out that the code on the ficha was not valid. And so I had to, in the end, go to the university, bring them the receipt of having asked the password for DGES, and in the end, all I did was the same thing as I would have done if I had directly went to the university and told them, here I want to access the DGES system to fill in the Concurso Nacional DSS. All you do is go to your nearest university and ask them for your password and for a PIN to use external exams. If you have external exams, obviously. In most cases, you do. As for the exams needed, now you do need some exams to access the system. If you completed your school in, let's say, Germany, you have the Abitur, all you need 2 documents. Your Abitur and an equivalencia, which is something you need to request in the Department of Education in Portugal. And it's a pretty easy form to fill in. If you have the Deutsche Internationale Abitur, a document translated into English, you don't even have to pay for the translation. English is fine. They will do an equivalencia for you. Now, once you have the equivalence, there's really not that much you have to do. But take into account, the only exams that you actually have are the ones you completed in your school. These can be written exams, oral exams, or even presentation exams, which exist in Germany, for example. But not all subjects you're qualified to study for. That means if I were in Germany with an Abitur, I could study anything. In Portugal, only those subjects that I actually completed exams for. This might be a limiting factor for many. And so there's a solution. You go to your nearest Portuguese school and complete exams. For these, you have to sign up with certain antecedents, usually around May, and you can sign up to 1 or several exams. When applying, you can use 3 options. 1, you just use Portuguese exams. For that, you have to complete the exams you need for your course, usually 2 exams, and in rare cases, 3. Option 2, you use the ones from your school. These would be exams from Germany, exams from other country. You just need an equivalency, and you need to make sure that they are equivalent to your exams, which you can see in the law over here. And there's a third option. This one is not known by most, but it actually works. You can mix the exams however you wish. If you have better grades in maths in your German exam and a better grade in physics in your Portuguese exam, you could just use both of them, even though you completed physics in Germany. It does not matter. So now that we've got all the documents we need, let's actually fill in the form. Part 5. Fill in the form. The form for the Concurso Nacional DSS is filled in online on the web portal of DGES. This can only be done in certain time intervals. For 2025, there were these, but they change each year. However, as an external student, as a student from outside Portugal, you need, in most cases, to use external exams, and they can only be used in these intervals, or rather in this interval. It's just one interval, and it's at the beginning. Unless you have Portuguese exams for the entirety of the courses you want to apply for, you can only use this interval, so you need to be pretty brief and on time. The form requires a password to access, and this password is actually your personal password, and it has to be filled in on the first page of the form. If you do not have a password auto-filled, then you just did something wrong. Go back to your university where you requested your password and ask them for this code. Now, you cannot input your score from the equivalencia in this region over here. This will be done manually by the person processing your request. Going on, you just fill in your information and the details. It's pretty easy until you get to the point of actually choosing courses. You will get two warnings here. The first warning is that you do not have a grade of completion of secondary school, which you couldn't enter because your password would be incorrect if you did enter it. And the second warning is that you lack exams unless you actually did the exams in Portugal that you need in their entirety. Now, for this, you have to go into Add Exams and actually add the exams you did somehow. You can try to input a grade, but it's not required. You just need to say, I completed maths in Germany, which is equivalent to maths in Portugal for this course. And you do that for each and every course. Even for courses where you have actually completed exams in Portugal, but you have better exams in Germany or in another country, you just use the other grades, but you have to actually enter it because otherwise the person processing your request will not look at the application form. And once you're done with all the steps, you need to attach documents. These will be your document of completion of secondary school and exams. These could be 2, this could be 1. In Germany, it's 1, is just the Abitur, for example. Then you need to attach your equivalencia. Usually you would also need to attach some kind of personal ID, like your ID card from your country. And finally, what I did was I additionally attached that I cannot input a secondary grade. So that's why you should review this. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but it's always a good precaution, meaning in case they do not count you for this term for whatever reason, you can just say, well, look, I explicitly told you that it is not possible to input a secondary grade. An example can be seen down in the description. Now, once you have filled in your form and sent it, all you need to do is wait. The results come out on these days. Part 6. Signing up for your university. Now, I told you that you could input up to 6 university and course pairs. They will be chosen sequentially. If you have the passing grade for the first one, you get into the first one. If not, second, third, and so on. You will get a reply from the university you got accepted to with a password or some kind of other method to access their system, in most cases. Then all you need to do is actually access the website of the university, not the DGES, and fill in the sign-up process there. It will include another form, which is unique to every university, but will generally include things like where you live, where you're from, and even the validity date of your tetanus vaccine. I don't know why they're required, but it is required. And once you fill in that form, you're officially in. Now you just wait for studies to begin. The process is easy when you know exactly what you have to do. And so, you can easily get access to Portuguese education. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see each other next time. You can also check out the Weekly Bunker, a series I make where I build an underground bunker in Spain. You can check it out over there. It's a great series, and you'll learn how to build an underground bunker house. And we'll see each other there. Until next time, ciao!